Hello, my name is Swiss Bianco. In this video we will have a look at a special newt livesay knife. It's a Wu with a serrated blade. Now since newt livesay is retired for quite a while now from knife making, I did make a video quite a while ago showing more of his work, and you find that on my Swiss Bianco YouTube channel. For the younger people, I have to explain, back then, we're talking quite some years ago, 25 years ago, if you wanted a combat knife, serious use knife here in USA, one of the major players in that field was Newt Livesay, the Wicked Knife Company. And there mainly his top model, the Wu. We have here two of that model on the table. So that was the good old days with Soldier of Fortune and other exhibitions back then. I did distribute his work in Switzerland as I was stuck over there. And basically what he was famous for was high quality, tactical, practical knives back then, custom or semi-custom made, and of course he used quite some machinery as well, but many were handmade or hand fitted and all that. So that was pre-or the made in China, cheap Chinesium, possibly glow in the dark material and all that. Steel, and yeah, it was a great quality. He mainly did use 1095 carbon steel with a parkerized finish on the blade, so of course you can collect those items, and by now they are collectibles, but they were made for serious hard use. So most of them came with kydex sheet, different colors, first mainly black and olive green, and then later he did also use a bit camouflage. That was that long time ago that you could not get easily camouflaged kydex and so on. So as we look at the knife that I just got in, that was ordered by a man in USA about 20-25 years ago, directly from Newt Livesay. He did talk with him and wanted a fully serrated main edge there on the Tanto blade, and that is really unique. I did never see that before. Of course that could be that there are more outside, but I never saw much serrated knives of his work. The main model or the main edge that he did was a plain edge. That was most easy to manufacture as well. But yeah, he wanted a customized version, and he got it basically with green kydex and without a handle. And that is how most of his knives came. They were either plain like this, or they had paracord wrapping like this model here. Different. This is a different model. But you see the handle was simply paracord wrapped. Back then we did not have much fancy paracord either, so it was mainly black and olive green and such. So to that knife, 1095, fully serrated, we have there the marker's stamp on it, and over here we have the Wicked Knife Company USA. So those knives are all made in USA. That was pre-or all that importation. On the back side we see it's plain flat. He had different stamps, say on this one here. As we turn it over, we see there Livesay, his Livesay stamp on the blade, on the flat part of the blade itself. So back in the day, that was the day of the chisel grind. It can be either on the left side like we have it here, or it could be on the right side. It depends. Many had it on the left side, so that had the advantage that you had to clamp the knife blank and grind only on one side, which made it a bit cheaper to manufacture. And those knives back then were sold for an absolute bargain. If we look at it today, that is amazing about the quality that he could deliver for the price. And it's also easier to resharpen, of course, mainly the plain edge. Serrations are always a bit uneasier to resharpen. And it made the blade also more stronger, because most of his work was carried back then by professionals, by soldiers, military people, civilians as well, that did want to have a tactical knife and all that. So it was mainly for hard use. So that is how that looks. Back then the Kydex was already invented, so most of the sheets were in a black color back then. The setup was in a way that you had the lock up there. That was already enough locking for the knife, and then we have two eyelets there, and we have 3 holes in most of his sheets that are set up with a chain or with a cordage. He did sometimes you get them with the chain or the cordage, or like this one came just as a plain knife, no chain, no handle wrap, nothing. And the setup was mainly for neck carry. That was the day back then, as many people did neck carry such knives to have it handy. Of course, we can still do that our days too. If you do that, I would suggest using a chain that easily break and not a paracord or something, because that could strangle you. That is a bit a different thing our days than it was back then. And of course, because you have holes, you could also set it up with clips and leash it to say a strap of the backpack, and X or screw it somewhere on the furniture, whatever you have it. And of course, back then Velcro was already invented as well, so you could put some Velcro on it and use it like that. So yeah, he got that about 25 years ago, and he put it online. I had good luck and saw that and did talk with him, and since I collect a bit his work, I did finally get that fully serrated version, and it's gonna stay in my collection for now. So as we just quick look at the different variations, so the cheapest model, just plain without handle. Then we had option of a paracord wrap. It got a bit thicker on the handle, and then you had the executive model where he actually put scales on it. So you had in this case micarta that got pinned on it, so you had a actual knife handle. Of course, this version was way more expensive than just the plain one. So most of the models that you see would be basically this model, just with a plain edge. And since those were knives for using, most of them quite likely got simply used up over the years or got rusty. We have a 1095 carbon steel with a parkerized finish on top, so it's not stainless steel with a nitride or a wonder finish over it. So you need to keep them oiled, especially if you put it in the sheet and all that. Last point, the knife on top was a bit a more traditional looking one. Back then it was the time of the Tanto point, the Americanized Tanto version that he made most of the time. This is a NRG model, So basically a similar handle style, but with a more traditional drop point blade. In this case, also grinded on both sides. So we have not a chisel grind in this case. We just have basically a regular smaller type of a kitchen knife, paring knife kind of thing, with a nearly 3mm thickness on the spine. So that was for more practical use or more traditional use. If people did not want to go full fancy with a tanto blade, he had of course something like that too, and he made X versions over the many years, and by now he did retire from knife making already for maybe 10 years or something, or 8 at least. So yeah, look at my other video, there I show a bit more different newt livesay knives if you are interested in that. If you know newt livesay knives, then you know. If you are younger and you don't know, it would be worth it to learn about it and to experience the quality of such knives if you find them. Of course, by now it's only the used secondary knife market that you find such knives, if at all. So that much about that really unique, fully serrated newt livesay Wu knife.